Welcome back to Killer Keyboards Made Simple. We're going to continue working on our building blocks, and this one is a fun one, chords. They make up a lot of our music, so let's get back to the piano. We do have 3 steps to playing killer keyboards and keeping it simple. And that is, first step will be learn the chords. And our simplest chord that we have is called the major triad. And we're going to use it for more things than just the major triad. So when we learn these, they're going to be so useful because they're going to become other chords just by moving our bass note. So let's learn these major triads and do a little exercise with them because they're going to be popping up lots of times in our songs. Here is C, and it's major triad 1, 3, and 5. Because it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's all we're going to do. We don't have to go any farther than that to play this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is a major triad in C. You're going to hear that. There's a chord. When we move it up to D, we need to do those same intervals, so we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's as far as we need to go to get a major triad. So 1, skip, skip, half step, full step. There's 1. Looks a little different, but it's the major triad, and it has the same distance in between the notes. 1, 2, 3, half step, full step to 5. So there's a D triad. Now we'll go to E. We'll only have to go 1, full step, half step, full step to get the 1, 3, and 5. We're choosing those notes, 1, major 3, 5, to make the triad. Now we're going to go to F. It's going to look a little different, but it's going to have the same, what we call intervals. The distance between them are the same. 1, which is F. Look, it's right below the 3 black notes here. F, full step to the 2, full step to 3, half step to 4, full step to 5. We've chosen 1, 3, and 5 in the F. It's the major triad of F. Here's G. 1, full step, half step, full step. We're going to choose the 1, the 3, and the 5 to make the major triad of G. Great sound. Here's A. A has a full step, just like everybody else. A full step, a half step, and a full step. So we've chosen these 3 notes, 1, major 3, and 5. Now we're going to get to the B, and we bet we know what the 5th is because we remember that little snake bit there. It's going to be sharp, but so is the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here is the major scale in B. 1, full step, half step, full step. So we're going to select the 1, 3, and 5 for the B major triad, and we're back to the C that's just below these 2 black notes. Here's our C, 2, 3, half step, 5. 1, 3, 5. So let's look at the first C triad we played. 1, 3, 5. Let's look at the D major chord, triad, whatever you want to call it. They name it whatever they do, but it's the same. 1, 2, 3, and 5. Here's E, 1, 3, and 5. Looks like that. Here's F, 1, 3, and 5. Here's G, 1, 3, and 5. Here's A major, 1, major 3, 5. Here's B major, 1, major 3, and look, you recognize that 5. And we're back to C. major triad. In C, let's put the octave to it. Remember, we did the 1 and the 8. Let's put the triad on top. Chop builder right here. Now we're going to go up to the D major triad with its octave on the bottom. They all have this beginning, which is D and the triad. Now we're going to go to E, octave, put the triad on top. Here's F, octave, and the triad on top. Here's G, octave, and the triad. A, octave, and triad. And B, octave, and its triad. Remember, it looks like this, and it has that fifth that's high. Let's just do a little bit of a chop builder by rolling across these notes. Let's just keep that octave in the left hand and go. Let's do the same thing in D. Get the octave under our hand and the triad on top, octave. Let's go up to E and do that same movement. E octave, triad on top, 1, 3, 5. Place that octave with it. Let's go to the F, octave on the bottom, triad on the top. There's our octave. Begin. 1, 3, 5. Let's do it. Let's go up to G, octave. Triad on top. There's the octave of G. There's the G and its triad. 1, 3, 5. Let's do it. Let's do it in A. A octave. Find the A up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our triad. B, our little trouble spot, but we're going to make it easy today. Here's the B octave. There is the triad of B. 1, 2, 3, and 5. Same move. Let's go up to C. Back down. Back down to A. Back down to G. Find those notes. F. E. Watch it. Down to D, triad, octave on the bottom. Back down to C, octave, triad on top. Trouble spot. Chop builders. Here's the G. This is a G note. Here's a C. C, D, E, F, G. So here's the G note. Let's start there and do those intervals we just talked about, and we'll form some chords here. Here's the intervals. 1, skip a step, 2, skip a step, 3, half step, skip a step, skip a step, whole step, half step. That makes the octave of G. Now, in order to make a chord, our first chord we're going to look at is a major chord. Now, we use this all the time in rock, we use it in pop. Every part of music usually uses a major chord. There's a simple way to play it, and there's another simple way to play it. That's the pro way. We're going to take a look at what the intervals of a major chord are. Let's start with the 1, go up 2 full steps, we're at the 3, go past the 4 and get to the 5. That is a major triad or a major G. Now this 1 can move elsewhere and it'll still be a major triad by moving to the 3, the 5, and that same G except up to that octave. And we can do it again by taking this third and putting it on the top, and now we have the 5, the 1, and the 3. Now we have a major chord in G that sounds like this, and like this. Now, part of being a pro is to know when to play that voicing. When you hear this, a very common progression in music is called the 1 chord, the 4, and the major of the 5. But you don't usually hear that when you are playing in a professional situation, because taking this and moving these notes so that you have a good starting point for a G major. Same notes, but just shifted. See? We have the 1, 3, 5, but we shifted this down here. Now we have a same triad, different sound. If we were to play that G like this, and move the intervals to a C chord, but do them by playing, and then we go back to the G by playing, instead of having this sound of a triad, we get the same chords, but a different sound. Now you'll notice that I'm playing the root of the chord in the bottom so that you can hear the difference in the chords. Let's go back to that G and take a look at it again. Here's the 1, skip, skip. There's the 3, 4, full step. There's the 5. Again, we're going to move that up. We're going to put that G on the top. Same chord, different sound. We're going to now move this third and we're going to put it on the top. So here's a good exercise to play. Gets your hands nice and nimble by playing. Let's look at it in the guitar player way. He wants to play an A, it's the same movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, major 7, 8. Let's look at the notes in A. They are 1, 3, 5. Same as the G, 1, 3, 5. A has the same intervals, you get that major. 1, 3, 5. Now you take the lower tonic A and move it up to the top. Same chord, different voicing. Move that third up to the top. Another great exercise. Let's go back down to the G. Do it again. 1, 3, 5. Moving up to the G. Let's do it for the guitar player in A. We can do this in any key, and it will simplify what we're going to learn as we replace some of these mystery chords that we've heard in songs. Why do they sound like that? Why do they sound so together when a keyboard player plays them? Why is it instead of... Why does it sound... Because we're doing what's called close voicing. Okay, now we just played a couple of chords here, and they have the same intervals, and they go up and down the keyboard the same, and we have what we call voicings by moving up and down. For the guitar player, they'll occur again and again up and down the keyboard. Now, if you've learned this chord, which was our G chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we have 1, 3, 5, called a major triad. Let's learn something using some of the other notes. Let's play G, then we'll move the third half a step, then we'll move it back to the third. Now we'll move down to the 2 note, and now we'll move this note back to the third. And it sounded like third moves to the 4, back to the third, to the 2, to the... Very common sound in music. We need to know it. We need to play it with a guitar player now. Now we're going to move it up to here, where our tonic is 1, 2. Hey, we're going to use that note. 3, the 4, the 5. So our triad is 1, 3, 5. Let's do it up. 3, 5, 1. 5, 1, 3. Let's do that lick that we just learned in G. Remember, we had this third note here, which is our major third. Let's move it up to an A. It's going to be the same. It'll look a little different, but the intervals are the same, and we'll be able to play it. Here's the lick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have a 1, 3, 5 in A. We're going to move up to the 4 and back to the 3 to get the first part. Up to the 4, back to the third. This is, everybody's staying the same. Just that note is moving. Down to the 2 and back to the 3. Let's do it a couple times in G. 1, 3, 5. Remember? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move it up to the A because we're playing with the guitar player now. 1, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 5. To the 4. Now I'll personalize that lick, but but it's all the same notes. Someone else might play it, or someone else might play it, but it's all the same notes. That's personalizing music. That's why we're going to use these building blocks to learn simple playing, simple rules, simple tips, so that we can apply them everywhere we play and make them personally ours, and everyone else will be looking at, oh, that's his lick. Well, you'll do it yourself. Now, the great thing about playing on the keys is you have the whole orchestra here laid out in front of you. So the guitarist might be in this area, and you might have a sax player in here, and you might have the bass player down there, but you've got everybody under your hands. Let's take a look at what we just did there with that lick, and we can move it around as we see fit. Let's do that lick in G. 1, 3, 5. Remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 5. Nice and simple, real common, heard it a lot, never get sick of it. Now, as a keyboard player, we can easily move that same lick, different sound, by taking what we did before, moving that tonic up here. Let's move it up to here. But that 3 to 4 to 2 to 3 is going to be the same. Keep these two the same because they're replacing these two notes. There it is. Here's our third. Same lick, different sound. Third, fifth, new tonic up at the top, same note. Fourth, keeping these the same. Back to the third, down to the 2. Everybody stays the same. Back to there. Let's do it for the guitar player. 1, 3, 5, and now we've got repeat of this 1 up here at the octave. Looks the same, look. There it is. There's the octave. Let's do that same lick in A. Key of A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's our third, our fifth, and our new. These two guys stay the same. We're going to keep moving that third. That's the sound now. It's going to be a different sound. 1/2 step up to the 4. Back down to the third. Full step down, we're at the 2. G. Back up to the A with that tonic up on the top. And we're not going to stop there because we've just moved this from a G up to the second in voicing, this interval right here. Same notes except just up there. We're moving this up. Let's do that same lick again, except now we have the third up here. So these two guys are going to stay the same. 5 and 1 are going to stay the same. 1, 3, 5, back to the 1. So it's a 5, 1, and there's the 3. Let's move this one. 3. By doing third, moving only the 1 finger, up to the 4, back to the 3, and moving down to the 2. Let's do the same thing in A. Remember we had 1, 3, 5, and 8? That's where the chords come in. We know that that's the major. So now we have that third on top. Same lick, different sound. We do third, keep these guys the same, and the third moves up. Back to the third, 2. Way you play it. just holding down the root note down here to sort of give you a cohesive sound. Now we just learned this lick, and we learned it here up in A. And then we learned it by moving that interval up to G. And then we move that third up on top. Again, the third is what's moving. Now let's go ahead and apply some of these scales and licks and chords that we've learned, and let's do them all the way up the keyboard. That way we'll get comfortable with them. That means you don't have to learn a whole bunch of different chords and all these new voicings and all this hard stuff. What you want to do is learn the basic blocks, and then we can apply them in each and every interval. Let's take a look at the first lick we learned was, we played it here in C. I'm bringing it down the same notes. So let's take a look at that scale, play it, and then we'll be comfortable with that lick. Here is the scale of C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, major 7, 8. So we have the C chord of the 3, 5, and 8. Now let's play that lick here. Sound familiar? We learned that early on. It was the 3, moving the 3 up to the 4, down to the 3, and down to the 2, and back to the 3rd. Always holding these two notes constant. Now we're going to go up. We're going to go into D. Sounds like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, full step, half step 8. Now we're going to build that triad like we did before. We're going to use the 3rd, the 5th, and the 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's same concept. Keep these constant. Here we go. 3rd, play up half step to the 4th, back down to the 3rd, full step down to the 2. That lick sounded like. And we played it different ways. That's going to be very useful to us. We're going to do that same in E. And here's the E scale. 1 to the 2, major 3rd, 4, 5, 6, major 7, 8. Let's look at it again. We think it looks differently because they are different colored notes, but they have the same intervals between them. Here's the tonic of E. So it's 1, full step, half step to the 4, full step to the 5, full step, major 7 is a full step, and then a half step up. There's the octave we were looking at earlier, 1 to the 8. Now we're going to play that lick in E, and it looks like this. Here's the 1, 3, 5, and the 8. Here is the 3, 5, 8. I'll call it 8 because it's up at the top. It's really the 1, just for repetition. It'll go all the way up. Here it is. 3rd, only 1 moving. Up to the 4, back to the 3, down to the 2, back to the 3. Notice I'm just rooting this chord. I'm not making any changes. The right hand's making the changes because it's a lick. any way you play it, you'll put your personality into it. Let's move it on up to F. Here is the F major scale. Same intervals. They look a little bit different, but they're always the same. There is the F. 2, full step to the 3rd. There's the 4th step. 5, 6, major 7, 8. Have some fun. Have some fun playing it out. Have some fun with it. Here's the lick. Starting with the 1, 3, and 5. Move the 1 up on top. 3, 5. Moving that guy up there. We're in F. Same lick, different key. Move that. Keep these guys constant. While we move the 3rd, half step up to the 4th, back down to the 3rd, to the 2. Play it, have some fun. Put yourself into it. Here is our next chord we're going to be playing, and that's a G. Here's the G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 again, or 8, however you want to look at it. G. Now we have a triad. 1, 3, 5. Move that guy up on top, lose him on the bottom, put him up on the top. We're going to do the lick. Here it goes. Keep these constant. Only one that's moving is the 3rd to the 4th. Back down to the 3rd, full step down to the 2. And back to the 3rd. New song. Each time you play it, it can be different, and you'll hear it in many different ways. Here is an A chord. Same intervals, same lick, different key. Here is 1 of A. Remember? C, D, E, F, G, A. So now we're starting on A and thinking in A. 1, full step, half step, full step, full step, full step, half step. So that is the octave, A, to its octave. Everything we're going to do is happening in here. We're taking the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, making our triad. We're going to take that bottom note, lose it, put it up here at the top. Let's get our hands in position for it now, because every time we move, we do have to do that. So here we are, starting with that 3rd on the bottom, keeping the 2 constant. Here comes our lick. 3rd, half step, back down, full step, down to the 2. Always play it. Have fun with it. It's to be played. It's probably been played 1,000 different ways in songs, but it's a real great sound, and it's a movement, part of the piano process, part of the keyboards. Let's move it on up to B. Let's take a look at this. C, D, E, F, G, A. Here's B. Oh, getting right back to home, aren't we, to C. Here is B. Full step, half step, full step, full step, full step, half step. Take a look at the triad in B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remove that lower 1, move it on up on the top. Looks the same. There it is. Reflection. Here comes the lick in B. Keep these constant. Lower, we got the 3rd happening. Rise it up a half step. To the 2, 1, 2, 3, back to the 3rd. In B. And look, we're back at C. Down to the A. Remember we had the octave, 3rd, 5th. Let's move down to the G. It was octave, 1, 3, 5. There's the chord. Move down to the F, octave, there it is. 1, 3, 5, put it on top. I'm just rooting the chord with that one note. I'm not making any movement there. Now we're down to the E. We were there before. Here's the 1, 3, 5. So it's 3, 5. Higher 1. Here's the lick. Move only the 3. Half step up, half step down, full step. Back down to the D. 1, 3, 5. Move the 1 on up to the top. Always have fun with it. C. 1, 3, 5. Move that 1 up to the top. Only move the 3rd. Down to the 2 and to the 1. Up to the E, get positioned. Up to the F. Remember, only the 3rd moves. G, 1, 3, 5, put it on top. A. Only the 3rd moves. 1, 3, 5, 8. B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move the 1 up to the top. Now, part of the music that we're learning here is not just what we call static. We also move across these notes. We move in chords, but we also move across the notes in succession. So let's get some chop builders going with our fingers. We'll do it to teach them the feeling of rolling across the keyboards with ease. We have to first off place our hands really nice and comfortable on the keyboards. Some people are a little more flat, some people are a little more arched. Find how you feel when you sit here with your nose on the C and your hands above it. How does it feel? Lay your hands above it. Let's play that major scale in C, which happens to be all white keys. Let's play it though, and let's roll up with it. And we're going to do it this way as a chop builder with our right hand. We're going to start with the 1, which is C, 2, 3. And when we're going to go to the 4, we're going to bring our thumb underneath it. 1, 2, 3, thumb underneath to the F. Fourth finger, bring the thumb under again. 3, bring the thumb under. And finish off up with the last finger on C. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll do it slowly with you now. 1, 2, 3. Bring the thumb under. It'll give us more room. Fourth finger there. Bring the thumb under. We're starting again. 3 of them, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And start with the 4 back down. I'll name them as we go. 1, 2, 3, thumb. 2, 3, 4, thumb. 2, 3, thumb, all the way up. And pinky. Bring this third finger down here. Bring the fourth finger down here. And finish with the third finger across. Let's do it together. Thumb under. Thumb under. Thumb under, and finish up all the way. Third. Fourth finger. Third. One more time. Let's do this same exercise in D. It will contain some of the black notes, but they have the same intervals. We'll apply that same rule. Chop builder, here we go. Let's start with the D. Same rule applies. We're going to start with the D, thumb under, all the way up to the 4, and thumb under again. Start with the thumb under here, and finish up with the pinky. Third finger there, fourth finger, third finger. Chop builder, good to know. Rolling across the keys. Now we've learned some information here about the major triads, how they're all important in music, and how they actually translate to turn into other chords. But we really need to look at why those are minor chords when they have a different root on the bottom. I just showed you a simple step to get through a chord progression. We really need to look at why they are minors. So the major scale, let's not break it down to the minor scale. That gets really, for me, unimportant. What I really look at is the 1, the minor 3, and the 5. So here in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, here's the 1, 2. Look, instead of the third, we take it down one step, and this is going to be the same in every key. So 1, minor 3, regular 5. These stay the same. But the minor third goes there. So let's just go through these steps. 1, 2, and then minor 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 5. Now let's do some voicings because they're all important to get that. To get close voicing, we want to be able to move them around. So here's an C minor, 1, minor 3, 5. Let's put that one up on the top like we did with that major. And it goes like this. Now let's put that minor 3 on the top, keeping these two the same. And go back up, even higher, taking that 5 and putting it back up on the top. Let's do it again. 1, minor 3, 5. Move that tonic up to here. Move that minor 3 up to the top. Move that 5 back up. Let's do it a couple times. Let's do the same thing in D. This time we remember the D major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we're going to make that a minor. We're going to take that third and half step it down. 1, 2, minor 3, 5. There's our D minor chord. 1, minor 3, 5. Let's do the same thing where we're going to voice it up. We're going to take that tonic, put it on the top. We're going to get comfortable with it so we can move around the keyboard wherever we are. We can make another inversion of it when we choose to, just by moving this minor third up to the top. And then back up to the tonic on the bottom. Let's get comfortable with that again. Here's that 1, major third, minor third, and the 4, 5. 1, 3, 5. Let's move it on up and put that tonic up on the top. Leave these two the same. Now let's put that minor third up on the top. Leave these two the same. And back up to the first position. Let's do it a couple times and get real comfortable. Again, always thinking we're in a new tonic. We've got this D as our bottom for the moment. Now we're going to get a new tonic. We're going to move to the E. And the E is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that third is dropped a half a step back, and instead of major, it's a minor sound. Big difference. 1, 3, 5, minor third. These are the same as a major. The 1 and 5 are the same. They don't change. All that changes is the minor third. Now let's get that voicing and get comfortable with it. We're going to take that tonic, put it up on the top. Leave these two the same. There they are. Now we're going to take that minor third. We're going to move it up to the top. Keep these two the same. And get all the way back to the original voicing, except it's up an octave now. Move that 5 up here, and we're into... Let's get comfortable. We have a new tonic. We're going to get to the F. Let's look at F and think in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this third, 1, 3, 5, is going to drop a half step. Now we have the F minor, same as everybody else, but we're just dropping that. Keeping 1 and 5 the same, dropping the major down to a minor. 1, minor 3, 5. Let's move that tonic up to the top. Get comfortable with the inversion. These two stay the same. That goes up an octave. We're in F, so now we're going to move that minor third up on the top, keeping those two the same, moving this guy up on top, number 5, back, down. Let's do it. Now we're going to move up a step to G. Remember we had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are going to take that major third and move it a half step down. These two are the same. 1 and 5 are the same. The major becomes a minor. Real different sound. Going to move that tonic to the top and get a better inversion for the moment. We're going to travel up with that. Travel up so that third, that minor third's on the top, keeping these the same. And getting back to the original position, but it's up an octave. That's with the 5 on the top. Let's do it together. First position, G minor. Second position. Third position. Back to the first position, but it's up an octave. Now we're going to move up a step. We're going to get to A minor. Here is our A major scale. Drop the major, half step down to a minor, keeping 1 and 5 the same. Minor third. So minor, first position here in A. We're thinking in A. Keeping that, moving that tonic to the top, keeping the other two notes the same. So, now we're going to invert it again. We're going to bring that up 1 octave, put it back up here, leaving these two the same. And back to our original, except it's up an octave. 1, 3, 5. So let's do it together. Thinking in A, the minor triad, 1, major, the minor third, 5. Invert, invert, invert. Let's move up one more step up to B minor. That's a major. Move back from the 1, 3, 5 to a minor. 1, minor 3, 5. Keeping 1 and 5 the same. There's the minor, because there was the major. There's the minor. Let's invert that up, taking that tonic and putting it on the top. See, we moved it. Now we're going to take that minor third and put it on the top, keeping these two the same. Now we're going to take that 5 and put it back on the top like it was originally. Together. And we're back to C minor. We're 1 octave up now. Those are your basic minors. Feels great to be playing these chords and playing the sounds that we've heard so much. We're going to continue next time, where we're going to get into progressions, making up the songs that we really want to be playing.